referral practitioner at the Kenyatta University Referral and Research Hospital. And she is from the oncology department. She'll be here to just take us through what compassionate care is all about. How does that look like? She will be giving us a run through the oncology room. If you have any questions for our doctor concerning cancer patients and compassionate care, feel free to do that and bring forth your questions. The number is 0716-103-301. Our WhatsApp lines are open. You can start sending in the message beginning now, and we'll get to see you at 9 a.m. together with the doctor who will be answering all your questions. Mike, good morning.
Good morning, Vivian, and to everyone who is watching Good Morning Kenya. Welcome to the program. My name is Mike. Remember, you can be part of every conversation happening right here on Good Morning Kenya. We are at KBC Channel 1 on all our social media platforms. The phone number has been given, so be part of every conversation that is happening here. Today, we like pulling one on you sometimes, introducing a new person. But Mr. Wafula Mutacho is not new to Jerusalem. But welcome to the show. I want to interest you today with a very interesting quote from Muhammad Ali. Don't count the days, make the days count. Don't count the days, make the days count. That is food for thought. Victor?
Don't count the days, make the days count, which is very important. But Omami, what do you make of that quote? Don't count the days, make the days count.
You know, with that, I think do good things that will remind your days in this planet. Yeah.
Okay. Count the day. Don't count the days, because the more you count, Vivian, don't count the days.
Don't count the days, just make the days count. Make sure that every single day you're showing up for yourself, for the community. Just show up. Do whatever you need to do a day at a time.
Yes.
Then you'll just be making that day count for you. Yeah.
And Mike, what do you think Muhammad Ali was thinking?
I think I would not really try to get into his psychology at the time, but I think he was trying to make every moment count for him, given that he is one of the greatest pugilists or boxers that we have in the world. So I think he made every moment that he went into that training meaningful.
Yeah.
So he made sure that every day that he gets into that training ground, he is preparing for that one fight that he is going to have with his opponent. And most of the time, he came out winning.
Yes.
Yes.
And, well, think of it this way. So today is Tuesday.
Yeah.
So you counted Monday, it's gone.
Yes.
Tuesday is coming now, and it will go. But then the question is, what did you do yesterday? What did you do yesterday? Think of it. So stop counting Monday, Tuesday. Count, make the days count. That yesterday you did something.
Yes.
Again today you're going to do something. So whatever you're going to achieve today, let it count. But don't count, oh, today is gone. All right?
And might I add, when you make the days count throughout the journey, when you look back, you will see it was worth it.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Sure.
So here we are. Okay, so we are going to get into it with our new, Wafula Mutacho is a member. I want us to continue with the series. We are taking a look at President William Ruto's regime, 3 years into the office, and now 3 done, we are into the 4th one officially. So today, let's take a look at some of the issues. I have Ken Bosiri, who is consulting and training editor. He's been in the newsroom for years on end. Of course, Wafula Mutacho is for the Kenya chairperson, Trans Nzoia, and Michael Agwanda, who is a political analyst. Let's take a look at what is generally, what is out there, more so when it comes to us, the media. How have we performed so far? Okay? That's a big question. It's quite hard for us even to take a look at ourselves, to do self-assessment. But I want us to take a look at how the media, we have covered President William Ruto's regime 3 years, all right, into the 4th one, and how can we correct it? How about now? We start with the front page of the local dailies as a welcome. Michael and Ken on set. On the front page of the Standard newspaper, war against Matiang'i. That's what I have here. I will have to get these papers. This is how it's done. Vivian, thank you very much. Another one from Wafula. Very good. Asante sana. All right, so this is how we do it. So on the front page of the Standard, let me start with the Standard. War on Matiang'i. War against Matiang'i, sorry. War against Matiang'i. That is what is on the front page of the Standard newspaper. War against Matiang'i. And former Interior
Sure.
Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiang'i's declaration 4 months ago that he'll run for president in 2027 has clearly struck a nerve in President William Ruto's camp. Behind the scenes, a covert plan is in motion with state machinery rolled out, senior civil servants flexing power, money changing hands, and threats issued, all aimed at clipping Matiang'i's rising stature in Nyanza and across the country. That is what's on the front page of the Standard newspaper. And again, sleuths flying blind in city without CCTV. This one is with regards to of course, the death of lawyer Chalom Bobu. Despite millions sunk into the integrated urban surveillance system between 2012 and 2015, Nairobi has no working CCTV to capture real-time crime in the CBD and major roads. A week after lawyer Chalom Bobu was gunned down in a hail of bullets, detectives still have no solid leads and are left to hope and pray for good Samaritans to step forward. That is what I have here. Now, the story on the front page of the Standard is what we'll be taking a look at. Probably that's what's on the front page. Teachers back Missouri on hosting JSS in high schools career path. And now, the Kupet SecGen was heckled by NAT officials at State House on Saturday after calling for JSS to be domiciled in secondary schools. And Missouri now made a case for moving JSS from primary schools, citing lack of infrastructure, especially science laboratories. Okay. Again, this is case of Duale daring. There's cartels opposing health sector reforms, a lot taking place in the health sector. We still wait to see how it will happen. Ruto keeps off politics, honors Ishunga's father's legacy. That happened yesterday. And of course, the story on no surveillance in the major cities, major roads across the city. Shame on over capital city without working surveillance cameras. The killing of lawyer Mbobu has exposed the capital's collapse surveillance project and widening insecurity gaps. That is on the front page, inner pages of the Standard. And finally, on that big story, Ruto's allies plot to clip Matiang'i's wings in Gusiland ahead of 2027. Busire, good morning.
Good morning.
Owadwa, ichionade. Very good. Good to see you.
Yes, yes.
Karibu sana.
Yes.
And of course, Wafula Mutacho next to you is the Ford Kenya chair, Trans Nzoia County, and Michael Agwanda himself. I call him Tyson. Now you know why Mike Tyson had that. No, that was Muhammad Ali. Are you a boxer?
I used to.
You see? I thought that's all fall far away from the tree. Lightweight, bantamweight, featherweight.
Actually, I was a lightweight then.
Yeah. Very good. Why did you retire so early? I'm a knockout
I
for
just
so many.
didn't think it was a profession I was going to pursue till the end.
I see.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, karibu sana. The three wise men. So let's take a look at what is happening. Of course, finally, very quickly, on the front page of the Star, inside Gachagua, Kalonzo team's 2027 game plan again. Should work. Stalled projects gobbled up to 1.3 billion shillings CDF cash. That's according to the Auditor General. All right. So again, story, hurdles in race for Mombasa governor seat. A lot is happening there. And finally, on the front page of the Daily Nation campaign podium, there you have it. Yeah, campaign podium. And State House, okay, State House is the image here. Yeah, you have it. And this is an illustration of what has been happening inside the house on the hill. So it has now been turned, according to the Daily Nation, it's a campaign podium. You can take a look at that. Of course, different dates, delegations hosted at State House, Boda Boda, Nairobi Youth, Nyamira and Kisii, Meru, etc., etc. You can take a look at that. Okay, so, gentlemen, let me start with you, Ken. I mean, when you look at where we are 3 years down the line, of course, allow me to ask you, what has been your key highlights during 3 years' time of President William Ruto, up to where we are now? We've started the 4th year. Time flies.
Really, yeah.
Yeah, time flies.
Thanks, Victor, for having us this morning again. That quote that was you talked about earlier.
Yes.
Making the days, don't count the days, but the days.
But make the days count.
Count. Just looking back at the 3 years and doing an audit of the 3 years been counted, they've counted for the presidency and the government. I think it's what we call a mixed scorecard. We've counted the days. There's been a lot of confusion, a lot of talking at each other instead of talking to each other, dominant voices, and voices that have also stayed down. But in all, I'll say in one word, it's been a mixed story.
Yeah.
Where we've sometimes counted the days because there were promises that were made, and some of those promises have lagged behind. They have not been fulfilled. Now I see there is a little more hurry to start ticking the boxes.
Yes.
You remember during the campaigns, the president and his team went to every county, and they had county charters talking about very, very specific projects. I have not seen that they've gone back to those counties again to try and say, where are we in the first year, where are we in the second year, the third year, as we go to the 5th year. Because we know that as the 3rd and 4th year kick in, there's going to be more campaigns.
Yes.
And you just alluded to a fact that the State House has now been turned into a campaign platform. Delegations going there to be told what they are expected to do. But I've not seen much of what, if we take a delegation from, for example, Muranga, what did you write with the Muranga? Is anybody coming with the scorecard and saying, this is exactly what we set out to do, where we have not do? An honest, very honest opinion and assessment that has its downs and beats, and having that honest conversation. But I've seen a lot of the talk is laced more with politics, what I can do, what I promised to do, and not what I've done.
Exactly.
Right.
It's about them.
Yep, them.
Great. Wafula, I like the way he started. From the quote, he's connected to the days, not counting, count the days and all that. I want us to take a quick break. But before that, in 20 seconds, your key highlights so far, 3 years down the line.
I think, to me, I say, Mr. Victor, that a lot has been done for the last 3 years. I didn't expect that myself. I didn't expect it because we know I'm a politician, and sometimes when we campaign, what we promise, we don't deliver. We don't deliver. Most of us.
That's a clear. Okay.
That's a fact. That's a fact. We don't deliver what we promise. We promise heaven while campaigning, just purposely to get some votes. But anyway, for the last 3 years, if I can compare with the previous regimes, for the last 3 years, I know President Ruto has gone through hell because he has never had peace for his last 3 years in office. But if I can count, he has done something that you can see. To me, I didn't expect that, but I can see since Moi left with the Nyayo Stadium and Kasarani Stadium, he has put up a nice Talanta Stadium in less than 2 years. We can see, me, I'm a farmer from Trans Nzoia. You remember when Ruto came in?
Wasn't Talanta started during last regime?
Yes. It is. No, it started this regime. It started from this regime.
No.
During Abab Namwamba's time. When he was the minister.
Talanta groundbreaking started during last regime.
No. This regime, when Abab Namwamba was the minister.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm a farmer, and in Trans Nzoia, we have been having a lot of challenges towards on the season of planting. Now, the major problem was fertilizer. And you remember this regime, when it came in, we had a lot of shortage of maize flour. And that the time I realized, Kenyans are Ugali people, not Luyas alone. Victor. That's when I saw people complaining bitterly to the government. But when he came in and shelved the major problem of fertilizer, then Trans Nzoia, we are doing well. Right now, if I can say, we are going to have a bamba harvest this season. So that one is one of the things. And you know, when you cut people's stomach, then the leadership will be a bit smooth. That one is one. We can come also to this issue of affordable housing.
Okay.
That is a milestone. It's a change plan for this regime. In just three years,
All right.
Victor, so many houses have been put up. My daughter was trying to apply one in Mombasa. They're all taken up.
Very good. Let's take a break. Let's take a break. We'll be right back with more before our time is taken up, according to. Stay with us.
Sende kuita mama.
Kwani nini ilifanyika?
Kama Cindy angeniita, Elijah angekuwa na sisi.
Tumefanikiwa kupata 80,000.
Basema 8 ama 80,000.
Bwana Elijah, kwa makini.
Yanaweza kuwa naitiwa nini huku sasa?
Ni juu ya jina.
Hallelujah! Atike! Hii ni mambo ya Mungu.
Toka na kuangana temptations mob, halafu mademu vibaya.
Maajabu.
Nani alikuwa kwa mtego? Na nani?
Hello, fabulous ladies. Welcome to the talk show that's all about sisterhood, empowerment, and unfiltered conversation. We will be focusing on women.
We believe in women.
We are really changing.
We are creating a safe space for women to connect, thrive, and share.
Just because you're a woman on a bike, you're labeled in a certain way.
It's not just a talk show. It's a movement.
When they are standing, we need to stand out.
From heartwarming tales to hilarious adventures.
They could ask me, Catherine, why are you learning?
We are turning the spotlight on women who are breaking barriers in their individual fields.
You have to have a vision. You are the leaders of Kenya today.
Keeping it honest and relatable.
Mental health is real.
Yes.
Where there is no communication, there is no relationship.
Join the sisterhood on KBC TV for Dada's show.
They say the art without art would just be get it? We circumnavigate the globe and traverse the local scene to bring you art and culture at their very best. From fine art, culinary art, performing arts, and even cultural events, you name it, and we have got you covered. My name is Kevin Kasioki, and I will be serving you this and much, much more each and every Friday at 8 p.m. only on KBC Channel 1.
Welcome back. Now let's get into it. Let me come back with, Omwami, 1 minute. You are submitting something?
Yeah, you were
When it comes to
submitting
affordable
something.
housing.
And you know, I don't like submitting this because sometimes you call me as if I'm an agent of this regime and I don't earn anything there. So, but I just speak what I know it's right. Where it's good, you spell it out. Where there is wrong, you call it out.
Yes.
So in this one, for me, I say this regime have done. When you come to, I said about the Talanda Stadium, you know that, and the Talanda Stadium, I think by the end of this year, I moved around last weekend, and I saw it where it is right now. Maybe by the end of this year, it will be done. We'll be hosting some events at Talanda Stadium. Let's come to several stadiums actually, across most of these big towns. Like Bungoma, we didn't have a big stadium. It was brought up by this regime. I've seen Kisii, the same. I've seen where else? Where we have been holding the Nasuja Day and all those things. These stadiums have been put up by this regime, which is okay. Let's come to another thing that has been a problem to most of the regime, employment of teachers. This regime has broken a record of employing many teachers in the system. I remember last time when Kibaki was there, they entered into an agreement with the NAT and COPET on how they should increase and employ teachers, but they didn't up to the required number. But this regime, more than 30,000 or 40,000, they have employed 20,000.
Teachers?
Yes.
Close to 100,000.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that one is also a milestone in education. Though infrastructure is a challenge to most of these schools. Let's also talk about renovation of the Kasarani. When I went there to see the Chan, it was a different stadium. I thought I'm on UK, one of the UK stadiums. Kasarani has changed. And that motivation of players, we have never seen it before. That's when our young boys showed up a good talent and a good game. All of us enjoyed. It has never been there. And any regime has never recognized the players. If we can continue like that, I think the president has set up a good start for that. I think it will be there. Another thing I was discussing with my friend there, that what happened with the Hustler Fund? It was supposed to be something good, but it went underground. Yeah, the government has spent money, and I know the few people who utilize those Hustler Fund as exert, they have changed their life. So Hustler Fund was another thing. So we can, in just 3 years, Victor, something that I didn't expect from this government, they have done it. I don't care about what they promised, but now I can see what they have tried to put in place. Yes.
Great. That is your progress report. Mike, what is your progress report?
Well, Victor, thank you for inviting us here, and it's good to meet Umami a second time over on the set here. He says good things, but some of them are very bad things.
Go ahead.
When he talks about Hustler Fund, we know that 91% of the repayment, 91% of Hustler Fund borrowers have fell into a trap of repayment. They have not been able to repay.
Yeah.
But you know what he's also talking about? He doesn't know that now Hustler Fund is now connected to SHA. That if you don't have, if you've not paid your SHA, you'll not be able to remit a monthly subscription for SHA until you pay Hustler Fund. So the question you want to ask yourself is, why do you, if you're lending money to people to do business, why do you connect it to their health insurance? And that health insurance, when you're taking health insurance, There was nowhere where they signed a contract that if you don't pay SHA, you will not be able to utilize your SHA on a monthly remittance. And those kind of things. And of course, it is a way of government trying to get the money that they give out there that people have not given out. But then the question you want to ask yourself is, when you're giving this money, what were contractual obligations in terms of giving the money out, and how was the agreement of the payment? By the mere fact that you have a phone and you can borrow money between 1,000 to 10,000 and commit to pay it back, if you don't pay it back, they should have other means to recover their money, but not to connect it with a very important sector like SHA, which is health insurance. But when he also says that the daughter went out there to look for houses, and all the houses are taken, I don't know what type of houses the sister was looking for, because
this was affordable housing. Not my sister, my daughter.
I don't know. I don't know. You know, there are issues with affordable housing. In fact, consumption of those affordable housing is an issue that is being discussed across the board. Are people going to be on board on them or not? Because a number of people that sometimes you want to build their houses for are probably managed to get their little shack somewhere, either in the village or something like that. And so some of those houses are still empty. There must be a way out on how we can encourage people to start utilizing those houses and to start having them. But let me tell you, if you ask me what has the 3 years of President William Samoei Ruto look like, I will tell you one thing. The 3 years of President Ruto's presidency is a very fortunate presidency, because this was the only president that was not going to finish 3 years in the office. Take it home. With the emergence of Gen Z, what we are seeing in other places, perhaps the president will have gone home before 3 years. The first one in the history, it did not happen, but it was really close, really, really close. And so he's had so many problems done good. And unfortunately, some of those problems are self-inflicted, and some of those problems are problems that perhaps he never thought about. One of those problems that are self-inflicted is ensuring that Gachagua goes home as his deputy president. That has become the biggest thorn of the flesh in his entire government. The kind of words these people are using on the office of the presidency, and also the president himself, are palatable words. They're words that you would not wish that a president of a nation will be addressed to. And I feel it. It's quite unfortunate when they come out and call the president a thief.
Yeah.
And then you go out there. Some of us have an opportunity of traveling abroad, and then everybody is seeing that a number of people calling the president a thief. Even if he has not stolen, but by the mere fact that people are calling him a thief, in my view, just taint the image of a simple unity of our nation. When they call him, a murderer, for example, and they've called him a murderer several times as a result of Gen Z killing, that in itself taints his image. Yeah. When he goes out there and your countrymen are calling you a murderer, there's a problem. When they call him, a liar, for example, when you go out there and you sit with your peers and people are calling you a liar in your own country, how do you expect the other national leaders to respect you? And I think we are in a country today where the presidency, the office of the presidency, and the president himself is not being respected. It is unfortunate that that is happening in this country. That I saw the president, and this was a very, very sad case, holding a trophy for Chan, and somebody saying, oh, Ataiba, Ataiba. And I'm like, that video went around, and I'm like, whoa, even a little respect. And I want a little respect for my president, because when I go out there, I talk about my nation. I talk about the country, Kenya. I talk about my president as well. A little bit of respect for the presidency and office of the president, it's key. But the words that we're using out there against the president are words that you do not want to associate with that office. That is what is happening in this country. And I think...
Mike, what are the genesis of all this?
Well, one of the few things...
Politicians, if I would put it plainly?
Yeah. You know, my friend here, Ofula, tells you that, you know, when he referred himself to as a politician, and he said, you know, when we go to campaign out there, we like to tip on things we cannot say, we cannot do.
Most of them.
Most of them. It is a fact. It is a fact. But remember that we are in a digital age.
Yeah.
We remember that digital age, what you say today, you'll be reminded in the next 10, 20, 30 years. It sticks with you, and they'll bring it in perspective. You're saying this today, and this is what they'll bring, what you said yesterday, okay? And when they analyze that, you have to be extremely careful if you want to be a leader in this age and time. Because when you say you will build stadiums all over the counties, if you don't do it, people will remind you. When you say that SHA is for this Wanamboga, the small person that will help them, and they go to the hospital, and they don't get treated because they've not paid a whole subscription for a whole year, they will remind you that you say this was working, and it's not working. And I'm not saying SHA is not working in totality.
Okay.
But I can also tell you that my wife, who works in a county government, went for treatment and with the SHA, and the county government had not remitted. I will not mention the county government, yet they had not remitted their pay for the last 2 months. So she can't get help in the hospital and she's sick. Whose problem is it? Is it the county, or is it the SHA itself? Or what is the arrangement? You see women going on TV and making a lot of noise and saying, my child cannot be treated. I must pay money and I have SHA. Those kind of things. They may look small, but those things hurt your reputation, and those things hurt your image.
That brings me, Michael, because that was going to be forming my part of discussion. When it comes to devolution, some of the governors, even in devolution conference, you know, governors meeting during their caucus, they say that they are not getting the disbursement to the counties in real time. That is forming my part of discussion. But I see Ken is trying to scratch his head.
Yes.
As you do that, let's also connect it with devolution. All right? And then we are going to talk about education as well. Those two.
Victor, I think Mike has spoken about something that is very close to me. That for years and years, and as an editor, one of the things I've always wondered, do we have national manners? Do we have any manners as a country?
Yeah.
What do we stand for? Do we believe in what we do? Why is it so easy for us to call each other names? We have given ourselves a constitution with institutions that also spells about what are the parameters of what we call expression. When is free expression free for all? And to what extent do we know how to observe these tenets of democracy? For me, democracy, I think sometimes I wonder whether we found ourselves, instead of democracy, we became crazy as a country.
Yeah.
Because some of the conversations that we have, that we cancel each other. And unfortunately, for Fulai, Mwami here, his breed, his creatures, called the political creature, is the cause of all these manners. Bad manners in the country, bad pronouncements, everything else. And yet, we cede a lot of our trust and goodwill to them. But they throw mud on our face. And this is where we begin. And unfortunately, we seem to be living in a very abused system. The very people who abuse our values and ethos are the ones we keep trusting. They're the ones we tell them, who do we elect? What do we do? How do we do this? And this is, for me, what I find very, very disturbing. That you cannot aspire to build a country on the very foundations of institutions that you dismantle every day. And that, for me, is what I can't. And then, like Mike said, some of the things you see, very, very unpalatable things, are also, we find ourselves as victims as a country. That with the technology now, we are able to create certain things, perpetuate our hatred and our biases using artificial intelligence. We create things about people, and in the end, we do not know that those things have a knock-on effect. It's like throwing a ball against a wall in a tight room. That ball will come and hit you right in the face. And this is exactly what we're doing as a country. And we've not, for example, what you mentioned about Hustler Fund. It was a very noble idea. But what did we do ourselves? The very same politicians told us, take it, eat it, and don't pay.
Don't pay.
Yeah.
That's what they said. You're right.
And because we obeyed these creatures, these ill-mannered creatures, we obeyed. And today we are complaining. I think for me it's important that there has to be a punitive clause to that. However punitive it is. Just like you go into a place, you know I'm supposed to sleep under mosquito net. You don't sleep under mosquito net. You get bitten by mosquitoes. And you know the result of that bite is going to be malaria. When you go for a quinine injection, you say, it's hurting. It will hurt you. You have to know for every action there's going to be a consequence.
Yeah.
And this, for me, has largely been a thing. So we have abused our goodwill, our own mannerisms, our own things. And when we talk about affordable houses, the houses are there. But I've tried in the last 3 weeks to get to the portal. It's closed. I can't access. I've been trying to call. At my level, I should call the PS and tell him what is happening. But I can't get through. Yesterday, I took my mother to a hospital. She's a senior citizen. And it was about SHA. I asked, she can be treated. We paid fully SHA last week, 2 weeks ago. And when I went to this particular hospital, which I will not name, and I was very livid, the hospital told me that we only take civil servants. Yeah. What kind of nonsense is that? They know the SHA directive. I've done a message to the head of SHA saying, is there something that is happening that we do not know? And once again, well-meaning policies that we are every step of the way as Kenyans, because of our political, ethnic, and whatever interests, we've tried to frustrate. That, for me, is the problem. Coming to education, I think for me, the tertiary education has been a mess. A good thing rolled out, but not systematically followed out. This confusion at university level. I'm one of the people who believe that we have to give scholarships and grants to students who are not deserving. But again, it goes to our who are deserving. Why would I cheat? We cheat in terms of information that we feel so that we can get it. We are a very dishonest country. We lie in terms of age, we lie in terms of income. The moment we get our mannerisms and begin to say, yes, it is. But the greatest win out of this has been the redefinition, defining the framing of the education system into 3 pathways. And I think because when we introduced what was called CBC, which has now been called CBE, we didn't know what to do. We now know that we can do STEM pathway, which is the way we used to do it in the old ways. You go to high school, you go to Form 2, you know you're going to do science, you go to a science stream. You know you're going to do humanities, you go to humanities stream. The third element, which I think speaks to what Wafula mentioned about sports and creatives, and which Talanta speaks out as the pinnacle of those things, is going to be very key. That we can now know that I don't have to do all subjects because I have to pass all subjects. I'm gifted in STEM, I'll follow the STEM path. I'm gifted in humanities, I'll follow the humanities path. Or creatives and sports. Now what we need to concentrate on is creating the proper instructions that we have seamless flows through the system. We have the framework. So in the end, what we are talking about, today you just mentioned about the headlines. As a media person, we have also been very open. We've had the space, but we also suffered hostilities at the beginning. A distrust from the system by dint of what we did in the last, where we were framed in the last election. We found ourselves caught in between these political wars. So the incoming regime thought we were anti-them. So they obviously came in. They're human beings. They reacted to it. We also reacted. So we found ourselves in some kind of paralysis. But that was not helped by the paralysis within the government communication systems. You have layers and layers of communicators who are dead silent. They don't know what to say. So we ended up having a dominant voice of the president as one person. No wonder there's so much vitriol poured against him, because it's the dominant voice in every sector, in social, health, education. Where are the people working under him? Where are the communicators who are supposed to tell the government story? They're there. A lot of them are systematic people who have worked in the traditional PR and communication system from the government. There are these newbies who walked in with the new government. wanted to show that we can connect you to the media. They're there earning lots of money, and they have created a jam. We have the communication center, then we have the government spokesperson. So where do we get the true story, and how is it aligned? These are some of the confusions that will not even bring out the story that Wafula talks about. It is there. The voice that we hear is the president's voice. At least now there's a gentleman in health called Duale. He's trying to speak out. Where are the rest of the people? For example, when people talk about a road, where is that CS, or where is in that system? So these are some of the things that we need. So we blame the government, the politicians. We believe in them. They guide us into the ditch and walk out of the ditch dirty, and then we keep talking. But we have to sit back and ask ourselves, we have a country, we have a society community. What is it that we have to do? And then every single thing in this country has got a frame of a politician. We put a name there, where the name ends up subsuming the policy.
Yes.
And that, for me, is the downside about our politics.
I like the way you mentioned them. And at some point, I was wondering, even in the beginning, there was a word. In the beginning. In fact, the way the word was created was through what? Let's create this and that. But now when it's come to communication, that's where the link is, the missing link is. Wafula, I want us to do this in 2 minutes before we take a break. When you talk about education, let's focus on that. And then when you come back, we talk about education shortly and then devolution, which is quite key. Do you think the government has really performed very well? Because when you talk about capitation, when you talk about CBC, the entire system, what do you make of that?
No, Victor, last time, I remember I was in this table with you, and we slightly touched on the education system in our country. We come up with a very, very good system of education. But now toward the implementation becomes a problem. You remember Moi's time, the 844 system. It was benchmarked in China.
Yes.
Properly. We brought it back. During the implementation was now a problem. Those, the Randa, the Nyundo were in primary school. And people could at least learn how to use the Randa, the hammer, and all those things. From there, the system died completely. People started selling those items that were being supplied to the primary schools. So we come up with a very good system. But now, implementing this system becomes a problem. Now, the major problem is the implementers want to get some good token out of it. By the end of the day, they corrupt the whole system, and the system fails. No system has introduced which is bad, no. When we talk of capitation, the national, the central government distribute money to schools. You remember it was in the media, and that's why I say sometimes the media team puts up a clear picture for our people to see. Money was being sent, I don't know, a school in Baringo, which does not exist. That one is one. There are so many like those schools outside there. Yes. Now, actually,
we are also seeing on the health sector.
Yes, the health sector. You can see the minister who is there right now, Mr. Duale, pumped in a lot of money to an hospital, I don't know, in Garissa. More money than Kenyatta, than Mama Lucy Hospital. And these are big hospitals that are level 4 hospital. But they paid that hospital a lot of money. Now you can see these problems. And even when you are talking about SHA, you can see what now SHA is collecting from the previous NHIF. Very, very little. Very little. 40%. NHIF were collecting more than 80%.
Yes.
More than 80%. Right now, the little money they are collecting, they are not even dispersing properly. Now you find that the implementers of this system of SHA has laid down the system.
Thank you. Omami, when you go to Loyaland, what do you welcome me with when I come to your home?
Of course, ugali na kuku, that's a normal.
And what else? Chai.
Chai, of course. And the choma if it is there.
I want to serve you tea. Let's take a break. We'll be right back. I'll circle back with you. Don't worry. Thank you so much. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Jill has always played both sides. I don't even want to know the details. But you need to take responsibilities of your own mistakes. Look, listen. Did Tiffany mention me?
No, not yet.
Right?
Come on. Give her time. She'll come back around.
Kuna shida lakini. Sasa unataka tuongee mambo zetu hapa mbele yangu.
Greetings in the name of the Most High, Jah Rastafari. My good name is Marley Moses, the positive warrior, alongside.
Yes, sir, DJ D-Rage, the baddest. Each and every Wednesday from 10 p.m. on KBC Channel 1 TV.
Tunakuletea the biggest reggae party in 254 in a yard extra. Extra niceness of reggae music.
Extra dose of entertainment.
When the thing is nice,
we have to do it twice.
Want to enjoy free-to-air digital TV with crystal clear quality? Here's how to get started with Signet. Step 1. If you have a smart TV, you're good to go. If not, get yourself a digital set-top box. Next, connect your set-top box to an aerial and the aerial to your TV. Use RCA cables, yellow for video, red and white for audio, or simply plug in an HDMI cable for high-quality sound and picture. Now, do an auto search on your TV. Just follow the prompts on the screen. And that's it. You're now tuned in to Signet. Sit back and enjoy a wide range of free-to-air digital channels. For technical inquiries, call the Signet hotline on 0770 572 656.
All right. So, Wafula, you're happy now?
Yeah, I'm happy.
Tukuna chai.
Tukuna chai. I think now I can continue.
Very
proceed,
good.
Yeah.
Okay. So this I want to give 1 minute again. I don't know why break comes on you, but fine. Let's continue.
Now, the way we are discussing about education, and it is very clear that we come up with good policies, but implementation is a problem. Same thing to SHA. Maybe the system was supposed to be good, but implementation was bad. And Victor, I want to, because I have some friends there, when they brought up this system of SHA, and then they told these people that they should reapply their positions with the new terms of payment, that demoralized the whole staff of SHA, of NHIF, demoralized them completely. And you know, some people are earning like 150,000. Now they have engaged almost 3/4 of that amount, that salary. Now they were brought back to reapply with almost half of the salary. These are the people who are actually pushing for contribution, collection of the money from various institutions, private institutions. But now, if you do that, do you expect them to continue collecting money? No. That is why the contribution to SHA has dropped in a bigger margin. Let me say about on how people are being treated in the hospitals. Most of the hospitals right now, last time I was talking with one of the senior person in Mama Lucy Hospital and Mama Uhuru Hospital, Uhuru Kenyatta Hospital. You know it? You've never heard that.
He's in those sides of Karibang. Not Karibang, but Korogocho.
This is a big hospital.
Yes.
It is level 4 hospital. You don't know it. It is not Mama Margaret Uhuru Hospital.
Okay. Probably without mentioning names.
Yeah, that is a hospital.
Yeah.
That is the hospital's name. Yes. It's a big hospital. But now they have treated people with the SHA cards. Now reimbursement for them also to buy medicine from SHA, it is now a problem. Do you think they will continue treating these patients free with the SHA cards again? It becomes a challenge. That is why now the problem lies with the SHA headquarters. How they remit these payments to their clients, especially the hospitals. A small hospital being reimbursed more money than a big hospital. That's a challenge. So implementation is the key to whatever we bring up, especially in SHA. And that is why, and I said from the beginning, we have the deeds and the does from this government. Now this one, if the president, and I think it is now the president to come up very strongly and put SHA in a right direction. Okay. Otherwise, the way my friend Dr. said, in just 2 years, 1 year, 2 years, when introduction of SHA, we've lost so many people than NHIF in 10 years. It's a fact. Also, the county.
Yes.
County also contribute a lot. I can give an example with my county in Transvair. They don't buy medicine. They expect patients to be treated. That is now a major problem. They don't.
You need to investigate that. Okay. When it comes to all this, gentlemen, assume you sit in, that round table, with the president, and we are getting to the 4th year of his administration, and you're now given time to advise him on what to do. Putting it out there plainly, what would you tell the president? Or how would you think, Mike, some of these things should be fixed moving forward in the next 1 year, even heading towards next election? Because now, that is now where the contract ends, and then now there's a renewal contract. We all know what happens thereafter. But now, between now and the next 1 year, sitting on that round table, what would you advise the president? Unfortunately, all these things we're talking about.
Unfortunately, you did not give me a chance to rattle a little bit about education, which I want to do.
You can still talk about that with
I run a school.
Yeah.
I run a school, and so education is so close to my heart. One of the few things that we have to agree on is change is inevitable. Change will come from the old system of higher. Now we went to 844 system, and then we are into CBC, which is now CBE. We don't really think it's important, but CBE is competency-based education from curriculum, which I think is okay. And I agree with the concept of leaving this unfair competition of doing KCP with a gun in class to a child that has never been close in my village in Machara, to a police officer. And now that police officer does not just come in uniform, but with a gun, and then you have to do the exam. You don't know whether that child whether he lost his parent that day, whether his mother has just been sick, whether their house has been burnt down.
Yeah.
That child has been studying in a place basically where there's no electricity, but you want to compare the same child with that child that is in Nairobi, in an affluent neighborhood, do the same exam and expect them to sail and be judged based on that very exam. Very, very unfair if you look at it. And it came to a point where basically people are looking at how the schools have achieved in Form 4 and in Class 8 and nothing else. How you pass the exams really does not matter. What matters is did you pass the exam or not. And those are the parameters that the schools were looking at when they were, coaching their kids. Pass the exams. It doesn't matter whether you know anything. And hence it came into the point where Ken was talking about cheating. And people started cheating in the exam. Because if you cheat, you as a principal, you are highly recognized.
Yeah.
You can increase fees arbitrarily without even thinking about the parents, and they still pay. You can, pay your teachers whatever you want, or charge parents whatever you want, and people will still come there because, the school looks really good. It's not that it's good, it's just that it's passed the exam. Now, if we can put education into a place where we are now the emphasis now are on competency, getting to know what you've studied and whether you are good in science or not, and jumping into sports. And I was saying, well, you're building Talanta centers and you're building all these studies, it's good, but what have you put for people to start in terms of resources, for these kids to start training when they're young? Because we're looking at the concept. It's not just the building, because the building are coming up. Somebody else is benefiting from this building. But if you're thinking about training people in talent, as Talanta says, then we need to start seeing that now in our budgetary systems. Is there a lot of billions that have been put to start training our kids on talent so that they can grow as sportsmen as other countries are doing? Absolutely not. So you can see, yet we're talking about these monumental things, structures that we're putting in. What is a system that is supporting it? Are we investing in people and children so that they can become stars in the next 10, 20 years to come? We are not doing that. So you can see that the concept of building is not really in the interest of building Talanta, but it's in the interest of making the politicians, the people in power, rich for today, a fact. And now when we talk about education system, and it's very unfortunate with what we're seeing in health system today. You're seeing that a number of schools were being money was being dispersed to schools that were non-existent. Well, I don't know if you'll be surprised that the same thing is happening in health today. That a lot of money is being dispersed to no. It shouldn't surprise you, because these are the same politicians. These are the same people who are, empowering their cronies. He was talking about the hospitals like Kenyatta, and Kenyatta is level 6 hospital. It's a referral hospital. It's not level 4, just for me to correct you on that. It's a referral hospital. It's level 6, the top of the top hospitals that you could have in this country. But if you can disburse money to some small hospital in Garissa and more than what you're giving to Kenyatta, you think you don't know? You know. So it's systemic. It's something that these guys borrowed from Ministry of Education because they were funding schools that were non-existent, and then they say, let's do it also in health. And do you know why they will do it without even thinking? It's because the people who disbursed the money and went and collect the money are still serving in government, and nothing has happened to them. Are you understanding that? So they will do the same in health. They will do the same in other places. What will I advise the president? I'll tell him, there are few things you should not touch. Let those institutions work. That is health, because it will expose you if it doesn't work. It is just everybody must go to the hospital at one point or another. It will. And education, it will expose you whether you like it or not, because our children have to go to school and we have to interact with all those bad policies every single day. When money is not disbursed on time, let me tell you where the principals are turning to: parents. Tell parents, bring money, we pay the electricity. Bring money, we pay all these people. And then you say it's free. No, it's not free. Education is not free. It's very expensive. Don't touch it. I saw what happened at the university level just more recently, where the school fees was increased to unbelievable position. Now, in Ministry of Education, they're asking about 102 20,000 kids that did class 6 and examined class 6, but now are not in 9th grade. And they're wondering, 120,000, where are these kids gone to? You mean they've just disappeared here in the last 3 years and nobody knows where they are? Yet we are talking about 100% transition, that all the kids that are registered in class 1 should be in grade 1, should be in grade 6 and grade 9. That's what we're talking about, 100% transition. Do not touch education, do not touch health, and do not touch what we call infrastructure, more specifically on the roads, because everybody goes on the road. If the roads are bad, the conductors will increase the prices and say the roads are very bad. So those 3 things, make sure you work on them. But I was talking about education system more recently, more specifically university. Just the other day, school fees was raised, but people made so much noise until the president actually reviewed those figures. And I'm very happy that this is a plus we can actually give to the president, that at least for the university fees, we can see a huge reduction. Why can't we have these people that are dispersing money to non-existing hospitals, dispersing money to non-existing schools, be arrested, whether it is a PS, whether it is a director of education, so that we can see the heads rolling from top. If we are continuing with doing these things and the heads are not rolling, nothing's going to happen in the next 2 years, I can tell you for a fact. Because the system, the principal knows that the money did not come here. But you in Nairobi, you're telling people that have already dispersed money. Who is the end user? The end user is the principal. And if they don't get the money, they've not gotten the money. Point clear. If we don't sort out the mess in SHA, if we don't sort out this disbursement monster in schools on time, if we do not fix the roads, I can tell you today, if you go to Kilimani area and Kileleshwa area and other places in this house, there are more potholes than any other time in the history of this country. In fact, there are some roads now behind, Alta Towers and those other places that you cannot even drive on. They are more gullies and bigger than even what you could imagine. The small cars can't go on. And those are the roads that are actually supporting Gong Road, because Gong Road really gets jam-packed. And if you have the roads in Kilimani all with big, big potholes, then where are you going? And you know, when your cars are breaking down and you're not making profit, it bottom ups into, am I going to elect this president again or not? These things run into votes as to whether that will material as into no votes or no votes.
So you ask the president, do not touch 3 things. 1, education.
For now, it's not about touching. They've already been touched. For now, it is about reviewing those policies,
fixing,
and having those policies work.
Education and infrastructure.
Where there are no complaints like there are today.
Thank you. Thank you. Ken.
Very well. First of all, you had asked about devolution. For me, devolution, a very good idea. And for purposes of telling, for rehashing our minds, devolution did not start 10 years ago. There was an attempt by the late former head of civil servant during it was Simon Nyachai, and God rest his soul in peace. There was an attempt doing what we call DDCs. That for me was the path of trying to decentralize government services. District focus for development, DDCs. The money went there, but it was that time under the bureaucratic system. The civil service. Money was taken and people were supposed to take to the districts and focus and pick out their priorities. Things were planned. That was for me the earliest attempt to begin to take resources to areas as a way of evening out what were there. So the very seed, however jaundiced it was, began at that time, that we, after realizing that too many things were centralized and they were not getting to the other nodes of the country. And that also did not work. But devolution is one thing, that we took the political bureaucratic with all its ills to the counties. We have miniature presidents with miniature cabinets, miniature people who only hire loyalty. I do not, for example, in my county, my father's county, do not see a lot of involvement. It's about the governor telling you this is good for you, not what the people have decided is good for them. So it is about showbiz. We spend a lot of money in bureaucracy. What happened to the own source revenue? A lot of it is taken and eaten, for the lack of a better word. I don't know what English word we can give it. It's a Kenyan lexicon about eating. It's taken, eaten by his loyal people. Those are what he pays them. They become another elite that is there to do themselves. For instance, I've never known, there's an MCA who is my neighbor in the village. He came to me and told me, let's put down this live fence and put a stone wall. I asked him, why do you need a stone wall in the countryside? And he said, it's just for security. Security from who? From the very same people who gave you a job? That for me is a misplaced priority. That people give you a job to be with them. You want to build a wall to keep them off, you think. That for me, devolution is good idea. It's a mess in terms of the implementation. The hospitals that are supposed to be involved are a mess. There is nepotism, there is cronyism, and all those things have messed up everything. So that for me brings it. Talking about if I sat down with the president, what would I tell him? Let the media work. They will truly mirror. Listen to them, however prick it is, they will show you it is not working. Do not take a self-defensive thing. It's going to be the mirror that is going to show you this is where it is. So the media is not your enemy. The media is not an enemy because it's the one thing that holds what we call public trust. It will hold you to account. It will tell you X has remitted money to the wrong institution. Follow it up. We do nothing personal. Mike talked about accountability. The other thing is, I don't know whether we just roll heads or just let the blood flow. I think we need to have serious consequences, not just tokenism in terms of jailing, in terms of everything. Take a very bold step. Let's see a few heads hooded, hanged and thrown into the baskets, and then we see blood. I think that's, for me, a very nihilistic approach to what you must do, because we must shake the foundations. Justice, okay. Rights, okay. But what right do you need for somebody who steals 100 million shillings, that is, killing 10,000 people? What right can we grant that person who takes money that is meant for education and people don't go to school? That is a saboteur. If there's something called more satanic, is the person who steals public resources that are meant to improve and build the lives of the people. You be given public trust, please deliver. If you can't deliver, get out. If you can't get out, let's remove you like you remove a jigger from your toe. It's painful, but you have to do it. 3 things that the president has to do. And they happened, they are not part of what he started. The tragedies that hit this country as a young boy growing up is the day we decided to privatize public health. I grew up going to a hospital, a dispensary. Everything was there. We decided to build these private hospitals. They took away, the elite knew that they could get privileged health support in the so-called private hospital, high-end hospitals. Let's reduce that. That was a tragic thing that happened. Commercialized health. 2, we commercialized education. I went to school with sons of ministers. They didn't have to worry that it's Kanutunga or something else. They came because the school was there. That was the premier school. But the moment we introduced what we call academies, then we segregated ourselves. The 3rd one, public transport and infrastructure. Look at Nairobi. It's a mess. Look at all urban areas. The moment we lost Kenya Bus, we don't have any schedule, we commercialized critical public sectors. Look at the housing in Nairobi. The moment we allowed people to build, give them land to build, give them public land to build houses for themselves, housing became a problem. So all critical public sectors must revert to what we call public put more money in public institutions, health, education, housing, public transport, so that it is benefit all of us. And then make a choice about its legacy projects. You can't be all over the place. If health is your legacy project,
streamline it.
Streamline it. Make it work. Take it home. Education is your legacy project. Take it home. 3 legacy projects that he has to choose in the next 2 years. The next 1 year, I think it's just 1 year, and make sure that they work. Then he can go with the scorecard and say, "This I have delivered."
Okay, great. I think, based on what you said, it's more or less the same as what Mike said. Education, SHA, infrastructure, and public transport.
Yes.
He needs to bolster the public sector for it to work. I like that. Omwami, when you look at basically what is happening, what is your...
And if I may add, food security.
Oh, yeah, that's
yes,
so close. That's now close to him, because he comes from the food basket. He will defeat us hands down on that. Sitting on a round table with the president, they have given their side of the story on what they think. These are clear opinions. What would be your opinion? Sitting there, he's sitting there, and you want to advise him in the next 1 year, moving forward.
Me, I think my profession is I'm a very good investigator. And I tried to learn why agencies were in the streets. Most people did not know why they are in the streets. I think right now people are just, I think the government have realized a little bit why they were in the street. Most of them knew that maybe it is because of job or unemployment. That is not the fact. And if I meet Dr. William Ruto here now, what I'll tell him is just one thing. And if he fixes this one, all departments will be home and settled. It's about corruption. It's about corruption. The way my friend has said, let us introduce. You said, I don't know which means we can use. No. Let us go to China, borrow the law from China that deals with corruption. Let us introduce that law here. Let it work independently. In China, if you are caught up with allegation of corruption, allegation of corruption, you are interdicted and subjected to no movement out of the country. That is how good it is. If the president can do this one in the next 1 year, and this is what agencies were fighting for, it is about corruption. You know, and I got time to interact with them, and they could easily tell me, just see, so and so we saw him yesterday, he was just like this. Now he's a billionaire, and we know his salary. We know his salary. Where is this man coming from? He's buying a watch of 30 million, a shoes of 500,000. If he can display what he is wearing, it's millions of money. Why? Are we having a future nation? No. So actually, if the president can hear me, just to introduce a good law to deal with corruption cases. That is the major thing. If we can do that, then other departments, even it goes down to the counties. You know, the way my friend you've said that governor, I don't know, you as if you are talking like my neighboring, my governor or what, because he was putting up a wall for his office and the people decided to pull it down. Why are you protecting us, not entering to this office which is ours?
Yeah.
So if that law can go down to even to county levels, to county entities, then that one will help this nation to grow. And the president leave the institutions that are charged with the corruption to do fairly. There we will see this country moving forward. Otherwise, we can talk of this country moving miles, but we cannot move if corruption is taking center stage.
Okay.
And if we are encouraging the corruption and defending the corrupt people in this country.
Okay. Because we are running out of time, I want to ask you, on a scale of 1 to 10, 3 years later?
To me, on what I had mentioned before.
On a scale of 1 to 10?
What I had mentioned before, right now I gave President Ruto in the last 3 years around 7.
7.
To be honest.
That's good. That's 70%. Okay. Mike, out of 10?
I'm probably, I would rather rate my president based on sectors, based on performance. If we give him 1 to 10 in a blanket sheet, then I wonder what I'm getting him on. So I'd rather be specific, like how about health, how about issues of infrastructure, how about issues of education. When we're talking about infrastructure in terms of building houses, I will probably give him about 7% out of, for housing. But the other sector are equally very important, like security and things like that. So I would run away from giving a blanket check and say, look, can we be very specific in terms of the performance of the president on some of the key and integral institutions in this country that drives the engine of the economy, drives the engine of senior citizens. And when we talk about his legacy from the beginning, not about legacy, but his philosophy from the beginning, it was about Mamamboga, Mutua Ndudi, it was about Mutua Mkono, and that meant that his first philosophy was to put these guys up so that they could come from down and go up. Unfortunately, what we're seeing now is more of top to down, which gives me a very hard time to rate my president.
That's a creative way of giving him some rating. That's a creative way.
You must give a score.
You must give a score.
You must give a score.
I've said
it's an example. Just give him a score.
All right.
In terms of housing, 7%.
Thank you.
But other departments, I will need to have that discussion.
Okay. All right. Senior?
I think, like I began by saying, that it's been a mixed card. So up some there, above 5, others below 5, especially, now let me say what is below 5. It's management of communication. It's system of telling a story. That is 3. I'll put it 3.
I think we'll come back and talk about communication properly when it comes to...
you want to give a total score?
Yeah, I want to give a total score that it will be about 5. If he can stop being seen like he's the one micromanaging everything. Let people work, give responsibility, and hold them to account. And finally, this score is not just determined on him as a person.
Yes.
It's determined by the citizens' civic responsibility as well.
I promise to call you back so that we can talk about more on communication. Mike, you'll be here again, and Omwami. Thank you. We'll talk about that. The gentleman who has just spoken is my senior in the industry. That's why I call him senior. He's been in the industry for years. Thank you so much for coming. Ken Bosire is a consulting and training editor. Next to him is Wafula Mutacho, Ford Kenya chairperson, Trans Nzoia County, and of course, the heavyweight fighter, Mike Tyson. Mike Agwanda, I call him Tyson, political analyst. Thank you so much for coming. The 3 wise men, thank you for waking up early and telling Kenyans and talking to the government as it's supposed to be. Asante sana. And you, my viewer, thank you for watching. We'll take a break. When we come back, we're crossing to Zinga, and Doramanya and Rashid Mumkondo will be running that show. Stay with us. Good morning.